And we are recording. It's a Friday morning, and Skatepark Mark is diving shallowly back into the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year 2022. And 2022 is just getting right along, and I see that the tracker here says that it's passed the House, has not passed the Senate yet. I don't know how long it typically sits in the Senate. They should probably figure it out so we can get this thing authorized and get a rocking and rolling like we are doing. All right. So now it occurs to me that I've got some background noise, and I always forget about this. I'm going to shut my fish tank off. Yeah. It's the water flowing in my fish tank. It provides a soothing sound. However, when I'm doing this sort of recording, it's nothing but distracting. All right. And so this is episode 7, I do believe. And let's scroll down here and figure out where we left off last time. Last time we were talking a lot about special victims. And I think it's sort of one reasons to believe that as the number of females in the armed services goes up, we're going to have more sexual assaults. And so we're dealing with this, and there is being money thrown at it per the National Defense Authorization Act. So where was I? Special victim offenses, I was to see sexual assault related matters. There's sexual assault in the National Guard. Also, let's see here. We have a transition assistance programs. The Skill Bridge program is something as well as war fighters move into civilian life, that helps them transition. I think we covered all this. Surface warfare. We got a continuing education, the language program. Speech disorders. You know, maybe we didn't necessarily cover this stuff. It's all blurring together. There's a Naval Community College. I think we covered that. I don't remember the speech disorders, though. All right. Well, we can check. Here, we'll check real quick. Let's see here. We've got this thing here. It says we went to 559.0. Okay, 559.0. All right. So we're going into subtitle G. Military Family Readiness and Dependence Education. All right. The establishment of Exceptional Family Member Program Advisory Council. So we've got exceptional family members. 2. Behind every great soldier, there's a great family member. And this bill would create Exceptional Family Member Program Advisory Council to empower families enrolled in the Department of Defense's Exceptional Family Member Program. So let's see what this family member program looks like. Exceptional Family Member Program. The Exceptional Family Member Program, or EFMP, is a mandatory U.S. Department of Defense enrollment program that works with other military and civilian agencies to provide comprehensive and coordinated community support, housing, educational, medical, and personnel services worldwide to U.S. military families with special needs. Oh, special needs. So if a soldier has a kid with special needs, we have a program to help them. All right. Do they have a website? Not there. One source. I don't know. I don't know if this is. Exceptional family member. Managing the care and services for family members with special needs, whether it's a spouse, child, or dependent adult, is a lot easier with the right support. All right. Looks like there's a program here. View directory of installations. Oh, wait. That's just all installations. Let's just learn more. Let's learn more about exceptional family. Oh. That's a connection point. Let's work 3 components: identification and enrollment, assignment coordination, and family support. The resources, tools, and services that are available to support your journey are organized as part of the EFMP resources, options, and consultations. So we have resources, options, and consultations. And we can contact Exceptional Family Member Program. There's one on every installation. So this is good. This is great. We have the Exceptional Family Member Program. We have an advisory council for this program now. So we're beefing it up, making it better. Okay, Section 562, non-medical counseling services for military families. Non-medical counseling. I mean, what is non-medical counseling? Isn't all counseling medical? Confidential non-medical counseling addresses issues such as, we can improve relationships at home, stress management, adjustment difficulties, parenting, grief, or loss. It does not address active suicidal or homicidal thoughts, sexual assault, child abuse, domestic violence, alcohol and substance abuse, or serious mental conditions. So that seems to be the difference between medical and non-medical. So we have non-medical, it just helps you with your relationship at home, stress management, like a life coach, adjustment difficulties, parenting, and grief. And then if we go into active suicidal or homicidal thoughts, sexual assault, child abuse, domestic violence, alcohol, substance abuse, then we get medical. And we have a nice little logo here too. Looks like it's a non-medical counseling. So let's just see what the non-medical counseling looks like. We're back to our military one source. Sometimes the care of family or friends isn't enough to pull you through a difficult stretch. Military one source is committed to promoting readiness and resilience in military family counseling. Address that stress. All right. That's great. And I think that actually that is in the military and non-military community, we all need a little bit of non-medical counseling, don't we? All right. 563, expansion of support programs for Special Operations Forces personnel and immediate family members. Okay, so we got Special Forces, and they got to go at the drop of a hat And we have probably a support program for Special Operation Forces. Let's just see what that looks like. Support programs, Special Forces. Support programs. SOFsupport.org. Our commitment. SOF support, Special Operation Forces support. Here we go. Help us advocate for special operators and their families. Donate now. So this is just a, looks like kind of a ancillary. I don't know what the term would be, but it's adjacent. It's maybe a nonprofit that helps out. And I don't know if they receive funding from the bill here, the act. Looks like they should. I mean, they've got the logo here. So we can donate. All right. We got to help them. All right, 564. Clarification of qualifications for attorneys who provide legal services to families enrolled in the Exceptional Family Member Program. Okay, so there are attorneys that provide legal services for this Exceptional Family Member Program. So they need lawyers, these special needs people. We need to clarify the qualifications of the attorneys. All right. This is getting a little bit convoluted. All right, moving on. 565. Improvements to the Exceptional Family Member Program. So we got to improve it. So we're going to establish an advisory council, which sounds like an improvement, but we're also going to improve it more. Down here in 565. All right, this is good. 566, portability of professional licenses of members of the uniformed services and their spouses. Portability of professional licenses. Okay, we learned that these uniform guys, there's 8 different uniform guys, and including the Space Force. It just cracks me up every time I say Space Force. All right. Licensure portability refers to the ability to transfer a professional license from one state or jurisdiction to another. Okay, so you would go from state to state with licenses. And these uniformed services guys, are they only licensed in a certain state? Portability professional licenses. Military Spouse Licensing Relief Act of 2020. Okay, so we're looking out for the spouses right here. So this is the portability of professional licenses for the uniformed guys and their spouses. So we might be looping their spouses in now to the laws. All right, 567. Database of next of kin of deceased members of the armed forces. Oh, here we go. Next of kin. What does next of kin mean? And this is interesting to me because Next of Kin, it's a movie by Swayze. Next of Kin definition. Because I've always thought that if somebody dies, their estate or maybe their next of kin, should be a beneficiary of something. A person's closest living relative. Closest living relative. Individuals who count as next in kin includes a blood relation, such as children, or those with a legal standing, such as spouses or adopted children. Persons next of kin. Okay, so it can be legal or blood next of kin. And we want a database of them. Awesome. Okay, 568. Policy regarding remote military installations. Okay. Oh, what is a remote military installation? It's just, somewhere out of the country? Okay, the 10 most remote American outposts in the world. So these are bases that we've got. Area 51. I don't know if that would be considered remote. But maybe it's just away from stuff. Diego Garcia. All right. Let's just look. What does this mean? Shemya Island. It's a teeny weeny outpost off the southern coast of Alaska. Anderson Air Force Base. Anderson Air Force Base. Where is that? We're getting ads. Anderson Air Force Base. Within the village of Yigo in Guam. Okay, so that's what we got. We got this Shemya Island, off the coast of Alaska. We got this one down in Guam, Anderson Air Base. We have the base at Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia? Alright, what's going on here? These guys are all over me. It's in the Indian Ocean. Mobilizing in case anything happens in Iran. Diego Garcia. Kunsan in South Korea. Korengal Valley, Afghanistan. It's a base in Korengal. Pine Gap. Australia. Pine Gap. Area 51. Shamsi. Pakistan. Wake Island. Wake Atoll. Between Honolulu and Guam. And Thule. Or Thule. And that's remote. And that's up in Greenland. Ha! Look at that place. Cool. All right, so those are remote. And we have a policy with these per section 568. All right, 569. Feasibility study on program for drop-in child care furnished to certain military spouses and military child development centers. Drop-in child care. Let's do it. Okay. So these military spouses have lives too. They don't just take care of the kids, and they need to drop them off. Okay, 569A. Comptroller General of the United States reports on employment discrimination against military spouses by civilian employers. Employment discrimination against military spouses by civilian employers? Oh, okay. Let's just see what that says. Military spouses are a class of people not explicitly protected from employment discrimination. This means that a prospective employer can decline to hire someone purely on the basis that he or she is married to a person serving in the military. This class of people encompasses more than 707,000 working age people. All right. There's discrimination going on out there against these spouses. They're not protected. All right. 569B. Report on efforts of commanders, the Washington Commanders, new football team, commanders of military installments to connect military families with local entities that provide services to military families. So these commanders are trying to connect military families with local entities that provide services. And we need a report on it. Okay. Report on preservation of the Force and Family Program of United States Special Operations Command. We want to preserve the Force and Family Program. Okay, this is more than what we were just reading about. What were we reading about? The Special Forces. Where was that? Because we've done some Special Forces already here. So there's expansion of support programs. And now we're going to have a report on this program that looks to be a support program, Force and Family Readiness Program. It strives to link formal and informal networks by developing systems, enhancing resources, and designing programs which provide information, support, and outreach motivated by a goal of creating a resilient, stable command. It's a network. It's a support network. And we have a Force and Family Readiness Program here. Right here. It's your one-stop shop. Okay. Force and Family Readiness Program. Here's a guy equipping a kid with some stuff. Okay. So it looks like they might get a new website. We want to preserve that program. Okay, so here we go. Here's this audit office or whatever. Review the preservation of Force and Family Program. Okay, we have the report and we have a review. We're looking at this program. All right, Section 569A. Continued assistance to schools with significant numbers of military-dependent students. So if a school has a significant number of military-dependent students, they can get assistance through the National Defense Authorization Act, a GI Bill for children of military families. Okay. Is this what is the GI Bill? A law that provided a range of benefits for some of the returning World War II veterans. GI Bill. It helps you pay for college, graduate school. Okay, so it looks like we're going to continue assistance to schools. Okay, so more GI Bill maybe. Section 569F, verification of reporting of eligible federally connected children for purpose of federal impact aid programs. So we need to verify eligible federally connected children for the federal impact. Impact aid grant system. Impact. Federally connected LEAs. Impact grant system. What are federally LEAs? LEAs. Children with disabilities calculated funds. Okay. Federal impact. This is more special needs, maybe. I don't know what that is. Federal impact aid. You know, that's the thing with this. It seems like, you know, we wouldn't have to go through this, but it's almost like there's different sections and the money's going to the same place. So it's almost like, you know, they just put this stuff in different sections almost. But does it go to the same place? It's a question. We almost need to reverse it, you know, and say, oh, does this particular thing go here? You know, instead of this going to, you know, this, and this going here, we got to say, does this go to this, and this? In my opinion, it should be 1-to-1, this stuff. It just seems like. Anyway. 569G, Pilot Transition Assistance Program for Military Spouses. See, now this is this transition assistance program. We've dealt with this stuff before. Now we have to deal with it different for spouses, I guess. 569H, implementation of GAO recommendation on improved communication of best practices to engage military spouses with career assistance resources. All right, so there's a way to approach these people. All right. Moving on. Diversity and inclusion. 571. Information on female and minority participation in military service academies and the Senior Reserve Officers Training Corps. So we need information on female and minority participation in the academies and the Senior Reserve Officers Training Corps. Okay. Surveys, 572. Surveys on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and annual reports on sexual assaults and racial and ethnic demographics in the military justice system. Surveys on the diversity. Okay, so now we're in this subtitle H, says diversity and inclusion. And so we are going to look to see if this stuff that was referenced up above in the military justice system has a slant to it, to see if maybe there's some racism going on. Okay. 573. Now, this is another one of those things where it's like, okay, this is a whole diversity and inclusion thing. Should this stuff be lumped up more like military justice as a sort of an overview? So, I don't know. Amendments to additional Deputy Inspector General of the Department of Defense. Additional Deputy Inspector General. So we need an additional Deputy Inspector General. What is a Deputy Inspector General? I like the sounds of that. It's a high-ranking position in Bangladesh. Deputy Inspector General. They monitor. NASA's got one. Here we go. George Scott, NASA's Deputy Inspector General. Has over 30 years in the Government Accountability Office. Assistant Inspector General managing a full range of activities. All right. This is cool. Great. The Accountability Office. It's like, how good a job are they doing? Well, who knows? 574. Extension of deadline for GAO report on equal opportunity at the military service academies. Okay, so it's turning out into a big job, so we need to extend the deadline for the report. And I guess there needs to be money, that's going to go toward that. So we need more money for this report because we have a lot of questions not answered about equal opportunity. All right, 575. And this is that, what was that? Accountability Office. I got to remember that. Government Accountability Office, GAO. Where was I? Okay, GAO review of extremist affiliations and activity among members of the armed services on active duty. So some of these active members are extremists, and they're still they're still on our team. They're just a little bit. We need to rein them in a little. They're a little too forceful. All right, 576. Reduction of gender-related inequities in cost of uniforms to members of armed forces. So we need to reduce the inequality in the cost of uniforms to members of the armed forces. Everybody's uniform should be equal. Okay, that's awesome. 577. Justice for women's veterans. Okay. Need justice. Task force on historical and current barriers to African American participation and equal treatment in the armed services. So we've got a task force, and we've dealt with this African American participation over and over and over and over again through this. And it looks like they're just getting money, on a bunch of different parts. Can we not coordinate and have a concerted effort here? That's a question of mine. All right, 579. Best practices for the retention of certain female members of the armed forces. Okay. Government Accountability Office report on the low number of Hispanic leaders in the armed forces. What's going on here? We want to know, why are there not more Hispanic leaders? Are they going to lead us in a bad direction, or are we suppressing the Hispanic warfighters? Are they not getting enrolled in the academies? This is a good question. Let's look into it. 579B, Government Accountability Office report on the low number of Hispanic cadets and midshipmen in military service academies. There you go. So they're connected. And 579, consideration of sexual orientation by Inspector General when conducting a review of racial disparity in the Department of Defense. So we need to consider sexual orientation when conducting a review of racial disparity. So we're looking at the race, but we're also going to look at the sexual orientation when looking at the race. Okay? That's almost like saying that, Bigfoot, comes from UFOs. Which is something that I didn't know, but apparently, when you see a Bigfoot, you also see UFOs. So it's, we think maybe the Bigfoot comes from UFOs. All right. Let me see here. Should we just call it? Okay. I'm just going to call it just because it's Friday and, that's a good spot to leave off. All right. Hope everyone has a good day.